We'll be having like 30-minute or 45-minute session to explore how we can use Power BI in building our career. So some of the things we'll be discussing is who we are, then a little bit about myself as a facilitator, then also have a brief discussion about Power BI, and maybe just to whet your appetite on some of the opportunities that Power BI offer. Then we can talk about some career opportunities that we have in the country. Then have some Q&A sessions. Then probably talk about more about the services we will be rendering to you. So this are what we have as part of our discussion today. Well, we might be going out in and out of it, but we'll try as much as possible to make sure we utilize this few minutes that we have. So let's who we are, who are we? Knowledge Escalator. So the basic thing that we do is that we help clients to achieve their desirable career goals. We are very much focused on making sure that we identify your career objectives, especially in the area of our niche, and help you based on our experience and based on our skills, and see how we can help you. We are customer centric and of course value focused. We are not very much interested in bring money first, then we add value to you. The value we are adding is very much important. We have experience. We've worked with different organizations, different industries, and we believe that we can add value to you, understanding your career needs and see how we can help. So collectively, we have about 50 years working experience. We're still growing, we're still learning, we're still trying to put our hands in different areas to improve ourselves. So for what we're doing in Knowledge Escalator, we have tried to carve a niche in training on data analytics and business analysis, and also cybersecurity. That's just a brief overview of who we are. We believe that value adding is very, very important, and in adding value, you are also impacting lives as well. I got this quote somewhere, and I think I love it. I think it's really speaking great meaning to what we are saying in this age. It said, if you torture the data long enough, it will confess to anything. And that is true. Currently, they said data is the new oil or is the new gold. Businesses are really gaining insight, trying as much as possible to gain insight into their data, and so that they can make informed decisions and they can prepare for the future. So data is really, really the thing of the moment. So your experience, your skills is very, very important in that area. So that is one of the reasons why we pull this thing together, so that you can see how you can contribute to this great innovation. So let's get into Power BI that we want to talk about. Power BI is a business intelligence tool, and it's developed by Microsoft. There are quite a number of business intelligence tools that we have out there, but Power BI is one that is really, really pulling the ground at the moment. Before now, Tableau has been on the top chart, but by the time Power BI came on board, it really, really competed with Tableau, and is, in my own opinion, pushing Tableau to the second position. So what is actually business intelligence? Business intelligence is a combination of technology and strategy that help businesses collect, analyze, and interpret data to make informed decisions. So you say it's a combination of technology. So the word business intelligence, though it's like a buzzword, but what business is trying to do is to look at their data. And before they can look at their data, they need to know where the data is sitting. They need to look at the various sources of data, and they need to analyze that data. And they need to, after analyzing data, they need to interpret the data and see how they can make critical decisions from that data. A lot of businesses have decided how to improve their sales with data, with good reporting. Businesses have seen how they can avoid damages by using data. Businesses have used data in making decisions. Even in war front, data is being used. So it's cut across every spectrum. That is why this tool is very, very important. And Power BI is a self-service tool. And why is it a self-service tool? Before now, you have to be highly technical before you can delve into data analytics or business intelligence, because you need core technical capability to build your reporting server, to build your services, to even being able to get data from different data sources. You need some technical skills to build cubes here and there. But now Power BI has put reporting on the laps of even sales team. If you're in the HR, you can delve into it and start using it. You just need to understand how it works. So that's why it's a self-service tool. You don't need to buy a server somewhere and spend so much money before you can acquire Power BI. To get a Power BI license, for a pro license, it's about $10. So even you can buy it, acquire the license, and start using it. So it's $10 per month. So it's cheap for business to invest in. That is why it's a self-service tool. So Power BI itself is a collection of software services apps and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insight. There are a lot of interesting words there. But basically, Power BI, Microsoft tried to bring together different technologies to produce Power BI, so that you don't need to have so much experience, even if you're not a database administrator, or if you don't understand how to ingest data from different data sources. You don't really know how to build pipelines. You don't need to acquire deep knowledge of those technologies before you can use Power BI. With few clicks, you can get your data, and there are a lot of Power BI building relationship with different organizations, different applications, so that they can get data from those applications. I'm going to show you a few of them as we continue. So as a BI analyst, as a Power BI analyst, what do you do? What are the things that you will do quite more than these, but these are the basic things you are expected to be involved in. The first one is to prepare data. You're expected to prepare data. You're expected to look for data, get data, bring the data into your data set, clean the data, do some data transformation, and get the data ready for analysis and for modeling. No, the integrity of your data is very, very important. When you get the data from different data sources, and the business is, you can imagine sitting down, the leadership of the company sitting down in the conference room and analyzing your reports, and they are right there identifying that your data is not correct, or your report is not giving the insight they are trying to achieve. It's already going to, you're losing their confidence, and they will not rely on that report again. So preparing data is very, very key in one of the Power BI analyst tasks. Very, very key. You should be able to identify and transform data very, very accurately. Then the next thing is to model data. So what do you do with modeling? Because you get your data from different sources, and these data are stored in different data sets or different tables. You want to establish relationships between those tables, and the effectiveness of establishing relationships between tables is very, very critical to your report. Because if you don't build good model in your report, then most likely you get wrong results, wrong data, or wrong figures. So you want to build your model. In fact, it's said that modeling is one of the critical tasks that a Power BI analyst must understand. So you build your model, establish relationship, build cardinality between those tables. Then after then, you can now visualize your reports. So visualization is the more or less like what the business see, what they make decision with. They want to know how many sales do we make last month. They want to know how many customers do we have. So they see that at a glance and they can make a decision. So, but you cannot get a reliable visual if you don't build a good model or if you don't prepare your data very well. You analyze the data. So when you analyze, Power BI has a lot of analytical tool in it that can help you determine pattern and trend. The business can say, oh, how are we doing? Oh, we are really falling down in sales. We are falling down in sales over months, over years, no, month over month, year over year, comparing previous sales to the current sales. That's when you explore the analytical side of Power BI. Then the last one is manage data. You know, your role as a Power BI analyst is not just to build reports and share the report. Uh, you want to make sure that you manage the security of the data in the report, especially who can see who. You probably wouldn't want a junior officer or a junior employee to see the salary scale of the president of the company. You probably wouldn't want someone in sales to know what is happening in HR. So that is where you manage the data, you manage the apps, the resources that you are sharing with users or the people that are consuming the report. So you have a role in that area so that you make sure that data that you are sharing is secured and the who and who are seeing the data is also managed. So let's look at the Power BI component. There are three critical components that you'll be dealing with when you are working with Power BI, and that is the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and the mobile uh, part of Power BI. Desktop is a free app application that you can download to build your report. You can download it on your computer, and it's free, and you can connect to different data sources right from there and build a report. But after building the report, you want to share the report. You want to share the report for consumers to use the report, or maybe to different business units. And you cannot do that with your Power BI desktop. If you're going to be doing that, that means you'll be sending the file to them, and that is not efficient. So what you do is to publish report to the Power BI service. Power BI service is a cloud environment that hosts your report. It is from the Power BI service that you share your report to the consumers. It's from the Power BI service that also share your report, that the mobile users can consume the report. It's also from the Power BI service that you can manage the role level security. That is, who can see certain report and who cannot see certain report. It's from Power BI service. It's from Power BI service that you determine how the updates of the report, how you refresh the report or the data set, or schedule the time you want to refresh those data set in the report. By the time we go into the brief discussion of the demo of what Power BI looks like, then I can explain this a little further. Now we can take a look at this component differently by looking at this. You know, if you look at the left side, the data source, you can connect. This is your Power BI desktop, and you can get data from different data sources. I've actually put three here, but there are tons of them that you can get data from. And when you finish building your report, you publish the report to Power BI service. And when you publish that report to Power BI service, like I mentioned earlier, this is where your reports will be shared with consumers and to be consumed from here, either through your mobile app or through computer. Then here we have Power BI Gateway. There are instances where when you pull data into your data set in Power BI, you want to make sure that that data set is updated with updated transactions. So you set up a Power BI gateway to make sure that that data is frequently updated. You can decide to do it, you can schedule that gateway or that update to run every night or to run every 15 minutes or every hour. It depends on business needs or business requirement. There are some transactions that you probably want them to run every Sunday or every week, of the week or every Tuesday of the week, and some you want them to run every night because their transactions are being updated every day. We'll be going quickly into the demo. I'm going to run you through what I mentioned earlier: Power BI desktop, Power BI service. Maybe not getting into mobile, but at least I can show you something about that. So like I was saying that this Power BI desktop, this is how it looks like. You can download this from Microsoft. It's free, like I said. You don't need a license for this. So here you can get your data. You go to your get data. There are quite a number of them that are visible right away, or you can go to more, and there are quite a ton of them. They are updating this from time to time because Power BI is integrating with different applications so that people can consume data from those applications or from different databases and um, build reports with those data. So you could go to Excel and get your data to CSV. You could go to different databases that we have here, Azure, the cloud environment. You could go Fabric environment. So you could. There are quite a lot of sources that you can pull data from. So when you get your data, you go to your transformation environment. This is called Power Query. So in this Power Query, you clean the data. That's when we're talking about preparing the data. You can do quite a lot here, either using the visual, or you can write some query, that is M query in other advanced data. So you can write some query here to prepare your data. You might have quite a lot of fields that you don't need, columns, then you can remove them. I can come here and remove this if I don't need it so that it doesn't clog my query by the time I'm refreshing it, because I want to optimize my table so that it can refresh and the report can be rendered as fast as possible. So you do quite a lot of data transformation and cleansing right here. There are some fields that I may want to remove all this null. So all I need to do is to say remove empty, so this is where I do clean up. When you go to a house that is not very well organized and not very well clean, one of the first things you want to do is to clean that environment so that you can get to make good use of that environment. So you do this, you clean up the data so that you can build a very good model. So after cleaning up your data, that is after getting your data and you have done this data transformation and cleansing, the next thing you want to do is to build your model. You know, is to build your model. Like I said, modeling is where you establish relationships between different tables. So this is very important because each table is expected to filter the other table. So when you have a very well structured model, it makes your data and your reporting to be very efficient and to be reliable. So this is what we call star schema model. So you have your dimension tables, um, and you have your fact table in between. So you connect all your dimensions table to your fact table, establishing relationships from primary key, that is each dimension table determine or define the fact table. So after you've done that, you then start building your report. You might need to write some query to optimize your model, and that query, that's the language that the Power BI uses, is DAX, that is data analysis expression. I wrote a couple of them. If you look at this report, I'm trying to get the top 10 sales by product. So basically, I think before I start going to DAX, let me just give you background of what this does. This is a fictitious data um, uh, available in Microsoft site. So this data just talks about a company that sells certain products and also have customers. So this is, I think, till 2013 data. So it's not most recent data, but at least we're trying to get a concept. So here I'm trying to get the top sales by product. I have my top sales by product here. I wrote a simple dash query here to get me that top 10 sales. So this query helped me get the top 5. Even though I wrote top 10, it's actually top 5. So this language optimizes your model so you can get do some analysis with your data. So this is why I wrote that query. This is part of the things we are going to expose you to if you subscribe to that training lesson program that we have. We're going to go much more dig deeper into this. Then I have another simple report that I built here. This is just giving us the top 10 customer and the top 3 product. If you click on this button, you're going to say that this is my customer and this is the top 3 product that this customer bought. So this can help in making decisions. Okay, we have this top 10 customer, then the business can decide, or we can decide to give these people some concession or some probably focus more on them. This can help them make real decision. And if you look at this is telling us that this 2013 data, you can compare 2 years to the current year and the previous year, and also look at the forecast. This is the forecast that we have for the year, and we can see that in February, January, this is not well structured. I should have arranged it. You can see that we didn't meet our forecast. That's why you have that arrow pointing down. But here we meet our forecast and even exceed it. So this is the visual side. This is where you create your report. And in Power BI Desktop, there are different levels of the structure that you have here. First of all, you have the report, and in a report you have pages. These are the pages. These are pages, and on each pages you have visuals and elements. You bring those visuals from here, so you can get more, but these are the basic ones that you can bring down to build your report. Then you have your tables. All the tables that you brought in that you have cleaned up, they are sitting right here. You can see the tables here. So after doing that, you know that you are good, then you publish this report. You publish this report to the Power BI service. That is where the report will be consumed. So this, I'm going to also show you the Power BI service. So you publish the report to Power BI service. Now the report is published. This is the Power BI service. This is the how. So this is where you share the report. Anybody consuming this report will see the report here. They won't see it on your Power BI desktop. So they can interact with the report. They can look at the month that they're trying to find. They can look at the year. They can slice and dice that report. They can see what is happening in their yearly transaction. They can look at the slices by product. So this is where the users actually consume the report. And this is where you also determine what report that people can see. This is where you determine what data that people cannot see as well. So this is the Power BI service. Is a cloud environment. You can create different workspaces and different reports right here. Basically, that is what we'll be talking about in the demo. If you have some now, like I was trying to also mention that you can also optimize this report for mobile layout, and this is how it looks like. I didn't do it for this, but I did it for this. So when you are consuming this report on mobile, it's going to give you this kind of view on your mobile app. So we will definitely go much more deeper into the whole process in the course. So I'm going to stop sharing and go back to our slide. So can you see my slide? Yeah. Okay, so what are the opportunities? What are the opportunities that you can get if you acquire the skills? The base salary, this is per year. This is according to Texas record, and I get this from salary.com. The average base salary is, you can actually eat this 6-figure in when you have the skills. Yeah, you might start with maybe very close to this, but in less than a year or 2 years with your experience, even in less than 6 months, if you take it very seriously and you acquire the right skills, you can hit this, and you can even go beyond this very, very, very well. I have used this tool for quite a while, and I can acknowledge this, that this is very true. You get what I'm saying? If you can even consult with it with your other jobs. I'm not encouraging doing two jobs, but it's very, very realistic. Um, I also get this data from talent.com. With this, you can, they make this analysis based on about 3,000 salaries, and they've realized that people can hit this kind of salary, even with certain number of years experience, even if it's 1 year or 6 month experience. Your skills can sell you to this level. uh, it's very, very profitable. It's very encouraging, and you see why the knowledge is like one of the most sought after by industries. Okay, so which industry and department um, that want this kind of skills? Every industry. I might have put some here, but the reality is that quite a lot of in almost every industries are into data. They are exploring data, and the interesting part of it is that it's not just that the whole organization wants to optimize, want to make critical decisions using data, and different business units in that organization also want to make critical decisions. Personally, in my experience, I've worked as data analyst or also data engineer in different business organizations. Some I'll be in, not even in IT environment, in IT department. Some I'll be in business development department. Some I will be in HR department. So the reality is that almost every business sectors is exploring um, data to make informed decisions, because they've seen how sales, they've seen how lives have been saved by using data. So oil and gas, health, manufacturing, HR, government, education, sales and marketing, and much more, they are using data.
Sorry to cut you short. Sorry
Yeah.
to cut you short. Please, I just want to let everyone, because we have run out of time. Please, you can use the Q&A section to ask your questions. Please ask your questions, and we will get back to you. Please ask your questions.